Secret Invasion is the latest Disney Plus Marvel show to release, and it stars Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury, taking down the Skrull Rebellion, while Gravik, the leader of the Skrull Rebellion, tries to start World War III. So let's get into my review and my thoughts on Secret Invasion. The entire show starts with Agent Ross being revealed as a Skrull. You know, he dies. His Skrull imposter dies, revealing that he's a Skrull all along. And the last time we saw Agent Ross, he was on the run in Wakanda Forever. I haven't seen Wakanda Forever, so I don't know why he's on the run or anything. And then after that, Fury arrives back on Earth. And after he arrives back on Earth, everyone's saying that Nick Fury is not the man that he used to be. He's old. He's been withered away with time. He's just not the same person he used to be. And throughout the entirety of the show, he's constantly proving people wrong. And he slowly but surely becomes the Nick Fury that we all used to know. And I guess that's it. But I don't really know why he was never the same after that. And a lot of people speculated that he was faking a lip all this time. You know, making people think that he wasn't the man he used to be. But no, he had a lip. And then it just went away. I guess, you know, that's how that works. But Talos and Maria Hill are helping Fury with the Skrull invasion. And, you know, Talos is actually a really cool character. We saw him in the post-credit scene for Spider-Man Far From Home and from Captain Marvel. And he's a solid character with a good arc. But we get revealed that his wife has been murdered by Gravik, the rebel Skrull leader. And when he tells his daughter Gaia that, you know, she doesn't want to believe it because Gaia is working with Gravik. And I don't know why. I mean, she works with Gravik so she can have a home where she can just live in her own skin. And she won't have to hide her, you know, herself. She can be who she is. And you know, Gravik, the Rebel Skrull leader, he's cool and all, and he's a really good villain. Like, his motives are just really compelling. Like, you know, Fury, after the events of Captain Marvel, promised to find the Skrulls a home after they were prosecuted and attacked by the Kree Empire. And after 3 decades, Fury has yet to find them a home. And Gravik, he's like, I have had enough of that. And so he starts this rebellion and tries to wipe out the human race with World War III. So the Skrulls will have a new home on Earth. And so Gravik is a really compelling villain. And he's the best Disney Plus villain I think we've had so far. I'll have to go back and look at the other villains. But, you know, there's a really low bar for Disney Plus shows and Disney Plus villains. So, Gravik in this entire show, you know, even though the bar is really low, the show and the villain, they're really good. But at the end of episode 1, it's revealed that Maria Hill, who we've been with since the Avengers in 2012, she's just killed by Gravik, the Skrull Rebel leader, which is just shocking to see. And it's really cool. Like how the show the show is much more intense than other of the other Disney Plus shows. Like, and it's much it's still, you know, PG, but you know, this show is a lot more intense. You know, you got Sonya Fallsworth, who cuts off a Skrull's finger, and it doesn't like cut away or anything. You see the blood drip. There's one where Talos stabs Gravik in the hand, and Gravik just drags his hand through the knife, and he uses extremis powers to heal himself. And they introduce Super Skrulls in this, which is really cool, because Super Skrulls in the comics, they started off with just using the powers of the Fantastic Four, but then, you know, over time, you know, the Secret Invasion storyline, they started using other superheroes' powers, and Super Skrulls are really cool and all. And it's really nice to see them implemented and how they're implemented in this. You know, there's this machine that you use the DNA of the hero you want to replicate its powers. And since you have their DNA, the scrolls, they can just replicate it with the machine, becoming super scrolls, which is really cool. And it's also revealed that there are just I think Talos said there's 1 million scrolls on planet Earth. That's so many scrolls that are just on Earth, living other people's lives and trying to live their own life at the same time. And it's kind of crazy to think about. Like, there's that many scrolls on Earth, and it's a lot. And Talos has a good reason for inviting all the scrolls to Earth, because there's no other home for scrolls out there in the universe, and the scrolls need a home. So it makes plenty of sense why Talos would invite all the scrolls to Earth. And it's kind of weird how throughout the entire show they mention why the Avengers aren't showing up. And the first time they mention it, like, Fury gives a really good reason, because, Fury says, well, if we get the Avengers involved, they're just gonna be turned into terrorists by the Skrulls, and, propaganda is gonna be twisted on them, and that's not gonna look good. But after Super Skrulls are, introduced, and Gravik, gets a hold of the Harvest, which is all the Avengers DNA from the final battle of Endgame. It's the Avengers and more, so he'll become the most powerful Skrull and the most powerful person in the MCU. So it would make sense that you would call Captain Marvel or the Avengers to come help you with that. So I don't know. And then the second time Nick Fury gives an excuse. He's like, the Avengers can't do what I can do. Which is really stupid, because they can do a lot more than you can. Like, if you were to assemble Captain Marvel and the rest of the Avengers, they could take out Gravik and the rest of his Skrull army. So, the reasons they give for them not using the Avengers is really, really kind of dumb. But we also get revealed, there's a lot of reveals in the show, but we also get revealed that Nick Fury has been married. We don't know for how long he's been married, but he's been married for a long time with this Skrull named Priscilla. That might be the human name that she has, but I don't know. But yeah, Fury's been married to a Skrull for a few years. We don't know how many, though. And that's really cool to see. It's just like when Hawkeye had a secret family that he revealed in Avengers Age of Ultron. Really neat stuff to figure out that he's been married this entire time. And that, she tolerates Nick Fury going out, leaving her every few months to go out and do his thing. And how she mourned over him when he got blipped during those 5 years. And when he came back, she thought they were gonna, start where they left off. And, keep doing their thing. But then Fury just disappeared. And so she turned to Gravik, and, she works with Gravik now, and Gravik orders her to kill Fury. And so she turns on Fury, but, she also doesn't turn on Fury, because they do eventually, when Fury and Priscilla, come face to face, they shoot at the wall that they're against, which is actually a really cool scene. It's really intense. So when they cut away, I thought Fury killed his wife. But he didn't, and they just shot the wall that was behind each other. It's a really good scene. This entire show has a bunch of really good scenes where people are just talking. And it's not boring at all. And so when you do get to the action, it's even better, in my opinion. And again, another reveal. Rhodey has been a Skrull. We don't know how long it's been a Skrull. It's hinted that he's been a Skrull since Civil War. Because when he gets rescued by Gaia, he's wearing a hospital gown and he can't walk, aka they're trying to imply that he was turned into a Skrull during the events of Civil War, which means that changes everything after Civil War with everything that Rhodey's in. It changes the scenes with him and Nebula in Endgame. It changes his reaction to Tony's death, and him at the funeral. He doesn't know that Tony's dead. So, me personally, I think it would be better if they reveal that, after the funeral, that's when Rhodey got turned into a Skrull. But it's also more interesting if, he was turned into a Skrull during Civil War. So I'm kind of torn in between that and don't know which one I would prefer. So whichever one they go with, I won't be mad at all. So since Gravik killed Maria Hill at the very end of episode 1, Gravik then pins Fury for the death of Maria Hill, you know, because Gravik shapeshifted into Fury to kill Maria Hill. Gravik's constantly saying the world will hate Fury for that, but we don't see the repercussions of Fury killing Maria Hill, because he didn't kill Maria Hill, but there's no repercussions. We don't see any reactions from anybody Fury knows. So that plot point really doesn't matter at all. Like, why make such a big deal out of it if you're not going to pay it off? Very strange. Like, that was such a big deal that Maria Hill just died and they're not going to pay it off. That's just very strange in my opinion. And the attack on the president, you know, because the Skrull, Gravik and his army are trying to, you know, start World War III, so they're trying to make America and Russia fight. So they pretend to be the Russians while they attack the president, and while attacking the president, at that point Gravik's a Super Skrull, but he's obviously not using his Super Skrull abilities because it needs to look like the Russians are attacking the president and not a bunch of Skrulls attacking the president. And while they're attacking the president, Talos is risking his life, you know, trying to help the president escape from the car that he's trapped in. And while doing that, you know, he gets shot, so he's turning back into his Skrull form. And there's this guy who sees him, and Fury's like, no, he's with me. And, you know, since the MCU is the MCU, it only takes about 5 seconds for him to realize, that's fine, I guess. But then, you know, Gravik takes his form, and while Fury is escorting the president out of there, Fury turns around and sees Gravik kill Talos. And, you know, we don't really have that much of a connection with Talos. You know, he was only in Captain Marvel and a post-credit scene in Spider-Man Far From Home. So not really a big attachment, but it is a really big surprise, and it gets a shock out of you, like, wow. And seeing Fury's reaction as well, you know, since they've been friends for about 3 decades, you know, seeing his reaction to Talos dying is also another really big shock factor, making you just process that emotion. And it's a really good scene, and again, the show is filled with a bunch of scenes, and the fact that 2 characters died without being brought back to life and all shows the stakes that this show had, and how the show was really good at, you know, setting the stakes with the World War III stuff and the Super Skrulls and the emotional beats with Fury, Talos, Gaia. It was all really, really well how it was handled. And so that brings us to the end of Secret Invasion. You know, it's either Fury gives Gravik the Harvest, which contains all the Avengers DNA and more, or Gravik, you know, starts World War III, you know, using Rhodey, who is a Skrull, to use the president to bomb Russia, where the Skrull compound is located, starting World War III. But one thing is just weird. Why not just replace the president with a Skrull and start World War III but like that? That's just weird. Like, that would be so much easier than having Rhodey be the Skrull. Just have the president be a Skrull, because you have all these other politicians that are already Skrulls that are leaders and in position of power. So why not just use them to start World War III? It really, like, if you think about it, the show kind of unravels itself at some points in the show. Some points don't make sense, but it's fine, I guess. It's weird to think about. But then you get to the end where, you know, Gaia's pretending to be Fury. Fury and Sonya convince the president to not start World War III. Gravik and Gaia have this entire battle where they're just using all the powers that they received from the Harvest and more to fight each other. And it's a really cool scene. The CGI it's really good. It's decent. And it's fun and all, but it feels just like a normal Disney Plus show. The 6-episode format doesn't really help it at all either. It's fine in some parts of it, other parts it's okay. And the show overall is really good though, and it kept the consistency, but also kind of each episode dropped in quality a little bit. So at the very end, they just set it up for more sequel baiting. They don't reveal how long Everett Ross or Rhodey have been a Skrull. They set up what, Sonya and Gaia are going to do next. They set up what Fury and his wife are going to do in the Marvels. And throughout the entire show, there are no post-credit scenes, so there's that. But overall, the show is decent. Not that big of a deal. It's just like all the other Disney Plus shows, they're not that good. But this one's not bad at all. It's one of the better ones, by far. But overall, I think my rating for the show, for the entire show, would be a 7.5 and a B+, or just a normal B. It's fine. It's average. It's good in some parts, fine in other parts. I wouldn't watch it again, just like most Disney Plus shows. And overall, I think the consensus is that Disney Plus, or that Marvel should just stop making Disney Plus shows in the 6-episode format. And just stop, when they focus on the movies and having the movies be a continuous storyline, it's easier to follow. It's usually much better, because you don't have to watch so much stuff and do your homework on it. Overall, I think they should just stop making Disney Plus shows. But the show was really good. Wouldn't rewatch it though. But tell me what you guys thought on Secret Invasion down in the comments section below. I would love to hear your thoughts on the Secret Invasion itself. Did you guys think it was good? Did you guys think it was mediocre like all the other shows? Do you agree that there was a drop in quality with each episode? And now that Gaia is the most powerful being in the universe, what are they going to say to write her out of every single TV show and movie going forward? Because she is the most powerful person now, because she has all the Avengers' powers. And so, there's that. But I hope to see you guys again next time. Goodbye.